Have you ever felt like you're part of something bigger? Like the choices you make aren't just your own, but the echoes of those who came before? Do you put family, either that of blood or friendship, above all others? And do you seek truth not marred by your own experience? If any of what I'm saying resonates with you in some way, then you might have something in common with the Abzan way of thinking. But let's not rush to conclusions just yet, because I want you to hear all of what I have to say first. Because in this video, we'll be digging deep into the combination of Abzan, through examples in the game, to the deeper discussion that those examples uncover. If that sounds interesting to you, then you came to the right place. So I want you to sit down, get comfortable, and let's talk about the philosophy of Abzan. You know the drill at this point. Before I begin breaking Abzan down into its fundamental parts, we'll first want to take a look at how it's represented in the game, as you can't build a house without a foundation. To do that, I will cover the faction that gives this combination their title, the most common creature type or class that comprises these colors, and finally I will select a character who embodies this combination's values, at least a version of it. With these, we can start talking about the deeper philosophy of Abzan. To start, as you may know, Dragonstorm gave us a new version of each of the clans established in the original Tarkir block. For many, the shift was drastic, but for Abzan, well, they seem to have established roots that have held into the modern day. The Abzan of old have learned that survival depended on the strength of the bonds around you. To them, family, duty, and loyalty are more than words. This version of Abzan moves like a millstone, slow and steady, and when they roll forward, they grind down anything in their past. But the contrast between new and old, as I've said, isn't so stark, because the Abzan of Dragonstorm also prize loyalty, endurance, and family above all, with every decision made done to secure their clan's survival. Even in death, they see it as their duty to guide and protect future generations. Parination is the belief in preserving life through cycles of birth and death, and it sits at the heart of their culture. As you can see, strong bonds are important to both versions, those that are created at birth and those that are secured through loyalty. If we then move to the most common creature type in this combination, we're met with the dragon. To me, the dragon type in this set of colors is all about strength and endurance. They are the immovable wall that outlives all, steady in its resolve and ever present in the shifting of times. Their power comes from patience, from knowing the longest lasting force is the one that holds. They do not flinch when the world changes, they endure, and in the end, they're the ones still standing. Alright, let's finally talk about an example of an Abzan character who can provide us with another take on the combination. For that, I have picked Anafenza. Anafenza is the embodiment of Abzan ideals, the belief that true family is chosen through honor, not just blood. After surviving the betrayal that destroyed her family, she rose through the ranks of the Abzan clan, not by force, but by earning the trust and respect of those around her. In battle, she would ride at the front of her army, proving she cared more about those she led than even herself. Even in death, she continues to serve her people as an honored ancestor, a guiding spirit carved into the roots of the next generation. Alright, I know that was a lot, but I bet you're starting to see a pattern here. So it's time to start talking big ideas by discussing 3 versions of the Abzan philosophy, where each one is driven by one of its colors more than the other 2. Are we a culmination of those that came before, guiding us in unseen ways? Could it be that our ancestors have laid a path for us to follow, whether that be a reflection or a motivation in? In some cultures, this way of thinking is a given, and whether we can manifest them to truly lead us or just call upon their wisdom passed on, one's lineage has substantial weight on who we are. Abzan believes that a family tree is more than a record of the past. It is the source of truth, where its roots are planted in each of its children. White as a color has a great respect for those that lay themselves out as an example for others to strive to be. But what if those that guide are long since past? Golgari is no stranger to the thought that what is buried still has value, and when its focus is community, it then looks to the lineage of great people for guidance, whether that is their direct family or the leaders of the communities it is a part of. Abzan doesn't revere the past out of nostalgia, but because it believes the future is built brick by brick with ancestral mortar. To honor those that came before is to embody their values in the choices we make now. In this way, legacy isn't a burden, but a birthright. We do not just inherit their path, we choose to walk it with purpose. The bonds of those we have by blood or loyalty are unbreakable, and anyone who would stand in the way deserves no kindness. For a community cultivated by mutual trust is the greatest treasure one can have. Whether that is the family one is born into or a community a person finds themselves within, it does not matter. For if we stand strong together against those that would aim to break our spirit, we are unshakable. This is the Abzan way, and it's no surprise with the colors that make up this black-focused version. You see, Selesnya is a combination that believes in coming together to foster harmony through intertwining with others to form a commune or brotherhood. It understands that the winds of chaos have no power when we interlock as one, while Black demands two things: that this community be of those that share a common drive or goal, and that anything that opposes it is swiftly and ruthlessly dealt with. In the Black-leaning Abzan, family or community is a pact to all within, sealed in action and reinforced through adversity. Here, the bonds that tie us to one another demand that each within act for one another just as they would for themselves, tested by the hammer of conflict and molded into an unbreakable steel, where only those who prove themselves are welcomed fully into the fold. There is no tolerance for weakness that threatens the whole, but there is deep, unwavering protection for those within. To be part of this kind of kinship is to know that you will never stand alone, but also to understand what is expected of you in return. If one can quiet both heart and mind, all you will be left with is the underlying truth of all things. But thought, you might think, is the mechanism to uncover truth, and that heart is the drive to experience it. To that, Abzan says these are frivolous aspects of our humanity, and are but a filter we place over all things, one that is marked only by our personal experiences. What this means is that truth and purpose exist whether we interact with it or not, and in fact, our interaction with it changes the outcome of what we see. Instead of framing things through our own experiences, we must open our minds and quiet the noise. These concepts are not all too unfamiliar to green, you see, a color that is closest to the base form it was born into, while Orzhov is a pragmatic and practical combination, one who deals in absolutes, in the black and white of existence, if you will. To this version of Abzan, a combination that lacks both red and blue, the whims of one's passion or the distractions of abstract theory hold little value. Emotions can cloud and speculation can distort. What is left is that which endures, what lasts, those paths tested and proven by time. There is a resilience to finding the quiet space where truth resides, because within it you are unmoved by the whims of change. You are rooted in absolutes, the same that have lasted for eons past. You simply are and will be. So now, with the foundation laid and the pillars of white, black, and green having given their voice, we can see what truly makes Abzan stand apart. It does not shout, it does not race, it merely endures. In a world of shifting loyalties and fleeting ideals, Abzan holds fast to what lasts: lineage, loyalty, and truth. It is the promise that the strong protect the whole, and the wisdom of the past guides the steps of the future, and that when all else crumbles, those who stand together will remain. If nothing else, Abzan reminds us that legacy is not what we leave behind, it's what we carry forward every single day. Thanks for watching, and well, this marks the end of the definitive Color Pie series, and what a journey it has been. Now, I won't get too sentimental here. I do plan on making a video going over my thoughts about the end of this series and the future of this channel, so keep an eye out for that. What I do want to say though is thank you. Thank you for all the support this series has garnered and all the amazing discussions I've seen in the comments over the course of these many videos. With that, friends, I will catch you in the multiverse. Bye.